What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. So this weekend is OCIC. And today I'm going to talk about what I think is going to happen at OCIC, because I think it's pretty interesting to point out what might potentially could happen. Because there's a lot of things to look into when you start thinking about OCIC. It's in Australia. There's a limited amount of players. Only people with like stipends / like Australians will be there. And that makes a very interesting tournament, because you have all these like high caliber players that are flying out there. And when you start looking at the last internationals, so let's look at the last internationals. We see like Turekev, we see Johnning, we see Pedro, we see Sieran, we see all these players, right? All these really good players playing Lugia Archeops. Now we do have one Lost Zone and one Evotal Control, but everybody else is playing Lugia Archeops, which we know is the best deck. But what's more important, why are we talking about this? Well, this is because the best players are playing the best deck. You can be thinking, okay, well, you know, that was then, what's now, right? Because this was back in November, right? When you look at the past weekend, you can see, once again, Lugia is just dominant, right? It's everywhere. All the good players, once again, are playing. Calvin Connor, John Ing, Andrew Hedrick, right? Isaiah Bradner, they're all playing Lugia. And this was 2 weekends ago? Because it's this weekend. February 4th was 2 weekends ago. And I imagine going into Orlando, once again, we're going to be in a situation where Lugia Archeops, it's technically the best deck in format, right? Now, one tournament we talked about was Liverpool. But even when you look at Liverpool, it's a little bit diverse, right? You got the Lugia, but I think if you start looking at the best players, I think they would also be playing Lugia. I'd have to look, like, match everybody's name up who could potentially be flying out to Australia. But that could be, okay, Raul's over here with Regigigas. He's just out there by himself playing Regigigas. But I think this is like, you know, so Lugia, you know, make it 2 of the top 8s. That's it. Like, that was kind of a difference, right? But when you look at the big tournament, like 1485, 761, 1485, right? You see all these high caliber players playing Lugia Archeops. See this one playing Lugia Archeops. I think we're going to see Lugia Archeops pretty much be the best deck, right? And you might be thinking, okay, Josh, we know this, right? This is not a secret, right? We know that the best players are going to go to OCIC with Lugia, right? We know this is what's going to happen. Why are you talking about this? Who cares, right? Well, we need to rewind back just a little bit to December. December 2022, we have Lugia metas going on. This is after, you know, Sao Paulo, right? We got November. And then right afterwards, in December, we have regionals in Brisbane. Now, once again, this is a regionals, not a IC. So we don't have all the high caliber players there, but we definitely did have some high caliber players there. Don't get me wrong. Like, see Natalie Miller there, right? Brent's there. You know, all these really good players are there. Probably the players I don't know most of Australia's. You know, now I don't know all the you know, I know battle me for not knowing all the high caliber Australian players. But if you look at the top 4, they are direct counters to Lugia. And why am I pointing this out? You're like, okay, why? Who cares, Josh? Well, we know that the best deck is going to be Lugia, and we know that it's probably going to be the biggest deck going into you know, it's going to be the biggest deck on ICIC. And you start looking at these decks, you know, we got the Frostmoth deck, right? Let's open up this image real quick. You know, utilizing the Alolan Vulpix, got the Articuno, the Freeze, got the Ice Cube. You get these kind of counter toolbox decks that we really haven't seen do well outside of Australia. And I think this is because, like, Australia, like I said, OCIC is going to be, like, your really good players bringing Lugia, and then you have these other Australia players that are going to be, okay, I'm going to counter the meta. I know how to do this. I played with some of the best players in the game, and I've done it before, and I imagine this is what we're going to see happening this weekend. We had second place. We had a Flaffy deck in second place. A deck that nobody would think it would be bringing, right? You get the Zekrom with the Wild Shock, right, to paralyze your opponent's Pokemon. Zapdos, you do extra damage. Tear Spark, get the Raikou to sneak in there. Medicham, right? We got some sneaky stuff in here. We got some sneaky stuff happening. We got third place. We had a Durant. Are you kidding me? There was a Durant. And once again, you know, the Evital discarding energies. Devour just discarding, you know, cards on your opponent's deck, right? And that was really, really cool to see. And of course, we had an Evital Eldegoss deck, just discarding energies. Once again, countering. We're going to counter good old Lugia. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing to point out to this weekend. Now, what can the Lugia players do? I think if you are going this weekend and you are bringing Lugia, I think you need to be prepared for this. I think we're going to have a huge counter of, like, we're going to counter Lugia at just one. I still say, hey, bring your Lugia decks, because I think it is fine against everything else. We've seen this before. It's done fine. But I think Lugia players are going to adapt and bring, like, Bird Keepers. They're going to play more Bird Keepers in their deck. Maybe one, maybe even two. I don't know. Two is kind of, like, pushing it. But playing the one could be really, really good to help out against these decks that are paralyzing you, right? And I think that could be the big secret going into this weekend. Now, outside of that, I think if you look at Orlando did have some interesting things. First, we had Grant playing their Mew Genesect deck. It's showing, like, hey, I'm here to take down the competition. Aerodactyl V-Star is real. Like, it is a real thing. Like, it is good. Aegis Star, until this Pokemon leaves play, it gains the ability to affect your opponent's Pokemon V, except for Aerodactyl V, have no abilities. So, like, Duraludon doesn't have an ability anymore. Goodra, it doesn't have an ability anymore. Genesect doesn't have an ability. Like, other Genesects, don't have abilities either. So these are great. Like, H-Star, you start thinking about H-Star is good. Yes, it's good it's good to counter Lugia, but not only that, it counters so much more. If you're against Mew, you could maybe sneak away with an Aegis Star and make it where you just, like, can't do anything. Other ability decks can't do anything against decks that played what is it? Not Drudagon. I can't think of his name right now. Why am I struggling so much to think of his name? I know it's in this list. Drapion. I said Drudagon. It actually shut down Drapion, right? Because Drapion doesn't have Wild Style anymore. So I think that's a big thing to point out. If you are playing Mew Genesect, I think looking at Grant's list might be something to do. I think it could be a sneaky play. I think the Aerodactyl V-Stars could be there. Don't play Leafy Camo Poncho or Big Charm. Don't play those cards. Play probably Parasol and Choice Belt instead. Far superior, 100%. I would definitely agree with that. 2 Rotophone, it's up to you. But I do like the side lane inclusion in the Palpad. I like those getting back those cards. Now, this list does not play cross switches. That is a big thing to know. But I think the cool thing is, like, you're playing Mew, you're going to take one shots. Who cares? You're going to one shot the active. You don't care. Against Lugia, they're never going to get set up, so they can't power the Pokemon. So that's fine. I think that's a fine call. I do like the one Aerodactyl. When you start thinking about it, it counters so many other things, right? So that's really good. Nick Moffat, just being Nick Moffat playing Lost Box. I wouldn't touch Lost Box with, if you pay me a ton of money. I couldn't play the deck. I can't speak for it. It's a deck I would never probably play. It's too complicated for me. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. But I think the big one, we already talked about this on Monday's video, and that's Ian Robb with Palkia. I think Palkia is in a great spot to make a comeback. Be able to, Articuno to counter, counter Lugias, right? You got the Drapion in there for the Muse, which we already talked about how you counter that. If you are a Mew player, you play Aerodactyl, you're good to go, right? Good to go. And also, if you do get the turn to Aerodactyl, you actually do counter the Star Portal, and Palkia might not be able to ever attack you. So that could be the big thing, too. So make sure you keep that in mind, right? Let's see. I think Palkia's a great play. I think Palkia could be a sneaky play that we might see some people play. Outside of that, Lost Box is there. There's so much Lugia, right? There's so many Lugia decks. Then you got like another Lost Box, and then you finally got a Goodra, right? I think this Goodra, Burgie was into a cool thing with Lost Box Goodra playing like the Cheryl. That's pretty spicy because you can Cheryl the Mirage Gate back to it, like pretty much have like a double Moisture Star. So you got like Moisture Star, then they do the thing, then you're like, all right, cool, Cheryl, whatever. Then I Mirage Gate, and then I attack again, and then they like attack you again. You're like, I don't care, and then I'm just doing goo things. I think if I was to play a Lost Box decks, this would be something I would play. I think this is a pretty good list. You play 3 VIPs. You gotta sneak the share on there somehow, right? I think it's a big thing. I think it's the only real big collusion. Big Parasol, going for Evital, Tipasoda, kind of Lugia. I think that's good. I think it's good. I think it's another good deck. That could be, there's a Ditto Control. I wouldn't touch it. I'm not going to look into it. But I think going into this weekend, yes, Lugia's going to be the main deck, right? And I think these Lugia decks are going to have to evolve. Even Isaiah's list, right? We see Isaiah's list. It does not play any kind of Bird Keeper. Nope, no Bird Keeper. It's going to be struggling if you do play against those matchups. I do like the V-Guard. V-Guard's really spicy. I do like that a lot. I think I like the difference right now of do you play Speed or do you play Splash Energy in your list. Oh, Dunsparce is in here too. The winning list did not play Dunsparce. That's a big thing to note. So yeah. Into a choice spell. I wonder what's different. I have to like look them side by side to see what difference is. I don't know. I can't think of it right now on top of my head. Sorry. Can't think about it. Captain Roma's not in here. There we go. No Captain Roma. Check a choice spell instead. So, but yeah, I think that's a big difference, right? That's 2 big difference between the lists. But like I said, I know I'm probably just rambling now at this point, but I just want to give a quick, yeah, just talk about that thing in general. Oh, Ekka Horn on the list. So, Zora, what would you play? What would you play, Zora? Zora said she would play Mew this weekend if you're going to OCIC. I think it's like the secret deck that I was going to see. It kind of flew under the radar. And I think with the inclusion of Air Dr. V-Star, you're just shutting down all the other decks. And that's really, really cool. Zora just fell off my chair. So anyway, guys, good look at OCIC. I think if we're playing against Lugia, you have to watch out because with the showcase of Brisbane, we saw that it was a huge counter to Lugia. So it might happen again. I'm really hoping we see some crazy fun decks come out of Australia again. That'd be insane. So we'll see. But guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new today about the meta. Like I said, if I was going, I would definitely probably play Mew. You're not gonna be as countered, and you can counter the decks that already kind of counter you with the I want to keep on saying Drudigon, but it's not Drudigon. So, anyways, you know what I'm saying. Alrighty, guys, hit the subscribe button. See you tomorrow for Expanded Thursday. This is a little recap of OCIC, and we'll see what happens this weekend. I'm excited. Alrighty, bye.